Hello, dear nostrils! It is I, Dr. Magnifiscent, yet again. And welcome back to the Nashville Nose, or welcome to if it's your first time. And if it is your first time, then why not become an official nostril and subscribe? It's a party over here and it's all free. And it's springtime, so it's all about everything fresh and everything new. New experiences, new endeavors. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, the animals are multiplying. The flowers are saying, come on baby, let's get pollinating. And you may be looking for the same thing. It's true, Mother Nature blessed us with these pheromones, but they don't smell nearly as good as the fragrances I have selected today, all perfect for the springtime. When we think of spring, we think of things that are green and fresh. The snow has melted off the grass, the trees are filling up with leaves, so green and earthy scents are ideal this time of year, like fougères, also herbal scents, woodsy scents, clean scents, and of course, florals, cause them flowers be bloomin'. If you're someone who prefers a more masculine scent, you may be thinking, well, I don't want to smell like flowers. And I say, why not? What's something that you get your partner, your date, or your crush, something that shows that you're into them? A nice bouquet of flowers. Trust me, if they love the smell of flowers, they'll love to smell it on you. So I have 10 today, unranked, encompassing all these different styles. Want to start with a quick honorable mention though, African Leather by Memo Paris. And right now you're probably thinking, whoa, Doc. A leather scent in the spring? Have you lost it? And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. After all, this was my #1 pick for my winter top 10 this year. But one of the most amazing things about this fragrance, besides its gorgeous scent, is the versatility. Unlike Tuscan leather or ombre leather, this one's main player isn't really the leather note, it's the cardamom. You do get leather and some of the warmer notes in the open, but as it dries down, you get much more of the cardamom, which is on the cooler side of the scent spectrum with more of a fresh, spicy feel, kind of citric and slightly sweet. Also, it performs like a champ. Memo has a whole line of different leather scents that I really want to dive into. They have Irish leather, Italian leather, Russian leather, French leather, of course, Memo Paris. How dare they leave that one out? Ocean leather, what the hell does that smell like? Sea cows? And yes, I did that whole segment just to do that joke. You're welcome. African leather is probably their most popular. It's their Aventus. And for good reason. Hey, if it could make my spring and winter list, it must be something special. Okay, let's spring into our top 10. The doctor is now in. Let's start with the obvious one, Green Irish Tweed by Creed. A quintessential spring scent. It's all in the name. It's a great modern take on a fougere with lemon verbena, iris, violet leaf, ambergris, and sandalwood. It really just picks you up and drops you on a rolling green hill in the Irish countryside on a foggy spring morning. Happy belated St. Patrick's Day, by the way. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-loo. Thank you. I dabble in opera. Green Irish Tweed to me is a must-have, and plus, look at that sleek black bottle. Okay, we got that one out of the way. And I think it's only fair that we highlight another one from Creed. Again, perfect for springtime. This one is Silver Mountain Water in the sleek white bottle. A refreshing, ice-cold, yet zen and calming fragrance with a prominent note of green tea, along with black currant, mandarin orange, petitgrain, sandalwood, musk, and galbanum, which has an intense bitter green accord. Some claim this to have an inky feel to it, and I see where they're coming from, but to me it's not a negative. It just has a sharp quality, which I find adds to the exclusivity to this scent DNA. Widely loved, it's been cloned many times, and I have to admit the performance is surprisingly good. At first impression, I figured it would be more of a weak freshie, and it's a Creed, and that's kind of a common complaint that they get sometimes. But I wore this to the studio one day, and they could smell me from the parking lot. Okay, not to that extent, but it can fill up a room. So on performance, these two to me, compared to a lot of other Creeds, are pretty solid. Okay, now pivoting to a designer, but a classic. It's the original Azzaro Pour Homme. And this is a traditional fougere which has remained really popular throughout the generations. It's a wonderful old school barbershop scent, yet timeless with many classic fougere notes. Lavender, oak moss, citrus, mint, leather, vetiver, patchouli, anise, clary sage, caraway, juniper berry, cedar, and a whole bunch more. It's light, in no way even close to a beast, but that's okay, it's meant to be that way. You just splash it on before you go to the barber, and then when you're done at the barber shop, then you can splash on something else. It's a nice morning commute or daytime office friendly scent, something like that. But if you're a performance junkie like me, you want something similar but stronger with a compelling twist, I also recommend you try Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. This has an additional note of brandy, so it's a little boozy and I love it. It's probably my favorite in the Pour Homme line thus far, but it wouldn't exist without the popularity of the original, so I'm glad to give this one a shout. Next up, let's take a trip to Prada. And this is Prada L'Homme Intense. I heard this was discontinued, but after a brief Google search, I feel like it's still around. I'm not sure, but I'm glad I got it if that's the case. I'm actually gonna put this on a test strip and check it out. Yeah. Nice job, Prada. Prada is known for their clean, soapy scents, and they usually perform pretty weak. This, on the other hand, does pretty well for Prada, I think. It's close to the original Prada L'Homme with iris, amber, patchouli, and sandalwood, but goes a bit deeper with an additional leather accord. Still somewhat powdery like the original, but more masculine leaning. If it is discontinued, I would jump on hunting one down right away if you've been eyeing it up. If you find it cheap on a trusted site, just pull the trigger. You won't regret it. The House of Bond No. 9 has always intrigued me, but only a select few have really excited me. Chinatown is one of them. This is one of those light floral scents, but in my mind, very androgynous. Lots of white flowers, which I'll admit is something I don't normally go for, but the peach blossom, tuberose, gardenia, peony, and orange blossom, combined with the spicy cardamom, sweet creamy vanilla, and the deep dark patchouli, cedar, and oud, gives it a lot of mysterious undertones. As someone who's been to New York City many times, I can confidently say that this composition really captures the colorful essence, energy, and beauty of Chinatown. Well done, Bond No. 9. Oh, and check it out. It's reversible. Whoa! Which side do you like better? I don't know, I can't decide. Pink on white or white on pink? I don't know. I love their bottles too. I think they're funky and cool. I also love the whole theme of this house. Each fragrance represents a different part of New York, and I love me some New York. It's one of my favorite places to go and explore, and I can't wait to get back there. My God, it's been too long. So with my passionate love of New York, I'm not gonna give up on this New York-based house. I'm gonna revisit all my samples. One I just wrote off early on was Bleecker Street, a very popular one and one I hear a lot of hype about. I just recently went back and retried my sample. I actually still have some of it on my hand here. Yeah, I really love it. I think Bleecker Street is another perfect, quintessential spring scent. Reminds me a little bit of Green Irish Tweed, but much less fougere, and it's just fresh and just kind of, I don't know, it's got an energy and excitement to it. And if you were placing bets that a Parfums de Marly was coming, well, congratulations, cash in. Here comes another one, and today we're gonna highlight Galloway, again, in the sleek white bottle. Now I have to say this also 100% qualifies as a summer scent as well, but thanks to that signature PDM Eddie Hall equivalent strength, you can wear this in the cooler months and it'll still cut through the air. Like Robin Williams' dagger through Dustin Hoffman's sail. Remember when we were kids? Galloway to me also makes a great signature scent. It's fresh when it needs to be, sexy when it needs to be, clean and bright with citrus, iris, orange blossom, then pepper, amber, and musk to provide some of that spice and sexiness. The most common negative I hear about this fragrance is people claiming it to be really expensive for a somewhat generic scent DNA. And in my humble opinion, there's some merit to that argument. It's not super left field, but it does smell more elevated above a lot of the more mainstream, clean and fresh style designers out there. And of course, this house just makes fragrances built to perform. Another reason why we love them. But yeah, good point. It still has a PDM price tag. So, as usual, I don't recommend spending retail. Just get it on a discounter site if you can help it. Yeah, it's nothing crazy out there, but it still has something very special and unique about it. It's just nice. I just love having a more easy, wearable, fresh and clean scent DNA, but with a really powerful performance. To me, that's the value of this fragrance in itself. So in my opinion, I think it's worth it. Again though, not worth retail. Worth it if you can get it on a discounter. Also, we couldn't get through the spring list without the other line talked about to death on this channel. Again, if you placed your bets, congratulations. You're a winner, baby. Guerlain L'Homme IDL Eau de Toilette. Oh, here he goes again, pimping the Guerlain IDLs again. Yeah, they're that good. And I'm not even being paid to say that. Unless you want to pay me to say that. I'm right here, Guerlain. so many great memories with this scent. I really do love this whole IDL line. I have several of them, and I think I'm just so addicted to that signature almond accord. It's sweet, very interesting for a designer perfume, definitely a step above most, especially in that price range. We also get bitter orange, tonka bean, rosemary, vetiver, leather. Even being an EDT, it still performs pretty good. Not a beast, but not bad at all. Not unlike the rest of the line. All I can say is you get a lot for your buck with this one. Another interesting designer fragrance off the beaten path is Dior Fahrenheit, and this is the Les Parfums flanker. Holding true to that novel ozonic sharpness of the original with mandarin orange, violet leaf, and leather, some creamy vanilla, licorice, coriander, and a touch of cumin, and the leather accord is a bit softer, almost more like a suede. Gotta give Dior props for still producing this left of center scent DNA for so long. After all, they are the, house of, Amouage. Way to climb all the way up to the middle. But Fahrenheit, I have a lot of respect for. Only thing I would love to try next is a vintage bottle, which apparently contains more of a sort of gasoline-like accord. Very curious about that, so I hope someday in my journey, I'm able to stumble across one. Another fascinating take on a fougere is Viride by Orto Parisi. Another one of my favorite niche houses, and being the anti-establishment punk rock stars that they are, they never list notes, so we have to decipher this the old-fashioned way. Tra-la-la-la-la. Ooh. 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 Green. Very green. Oh, what gave it away? This has a good amount of fresh green notes, but still kind of heavy and pretty earthy. Definitely get mint, but a bit of a sweet mint. Kind of like almost a chocolate mint. Kind of a boozy, licoricey absinthe feel in there somewhere. A little more dense, a little more opaque. Probably a good amount of woods in there as well. Maybe pine. And I can detect maybe some of the traditional fougere notes like lavender, oak moss, leather. It's strangely rough around the edges, yet really smooth. I know, strange, right? And in my experience, the performance is solid on my skin. Really cool, really interesting. Again, Alessandro Gutierrez, you're the Joey Ramone of fragrance. For our last pick today, I'm going with the other one I own from this house, and another one of my favorite niche brands. This is Honor Man by Amouage. Even though it may be called Honor Man, this is also very androgynous, and I think anyone can pull this off. Based in Oman, this Middle Eastern house knows their spices and does them well. And I think this is their take on a nice and easy fresh scent, but definitely a fresh spicy. It doesn't actually have any citrus notes listed, but it does give off that vibe due to the note of elemi, which is a fresh, piney, balsamic resin with citrus facets. Then pink pepper, nutmeg, incense, vetiver, and patchouli amp this sucker up to the powerhouse that it is. Not as beastly as the Blue Beast, but a beast of a freshie. And there you go, dear nostrils. 10 sprightly spring scents to immerse yourself in the beauty of this, the time of the birds and the bees. And speaking of bees, why don't you use that stinger of yours to poke that subscribe button? That sounded weird. Use your finger, or use whatever you want. I don't care, it's your phone. And while you're there, give us a like and ding that bell so the algorithm gods bless us all with an abundance of sunshine. And please do share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what scents you'll be wearing this spring and what style of fragrance you like to wear this time of year. Because you know how we roll, it's not just a YouTube channel. It's a community. I'll catch you on the next one. Happy spring, everyone. Stay green, stay fresh, and of course, stay smelly. The doctor is out.